Alrighty. This is the story of Hansel and Gretel. I stop every now and then because I'm not really comfortable telling stories. I really hate this. But this is just to help Pennies. I want him back out. Just like everybody else. So yeah. Once upon a time, there lived a woodcutter, his wife, and 2 children. The woodcutter was a kind man, and he treated anyone and everyone with respect. He loved his children and his wife very, very much. His wife, on the other hand, was a cruel, mean lady. She was not the children's true mother, just their stepmother, and she hated them very, very much. So, she didn't do anything to them when their father was around. She would scold them only. When he wasn't around, she'd hurt them very badly. And she would do anything to want to get rid of them. No. She'd do anything to get rid of them. One day, things were starting to get, well, not one day. One night, things had gotten very, very hot. A few weeks or so, oh God. One night, after a few months of horrible no-jobness, the woodcutter barely had enough to feed himself, his wife, and his children. The wife took this as an opportunity to get rid of the children. She told her husband, "I know how we could solve our food problem. We just need to take the children out deep into the forest and leave them there." The husband protested and he told her he didn't want to do this. He loved his children. But the wife was clever. She told him better that they die far away from home rather than just slowly die at home from starvation. So the woodcutter went along with this, not realizing that in the next room, his children had heard them. Gretel started crying at this. This means that they were going to take them into the forest and leave them there. Hansel, being the smart one, comforted his sister and told her that they would be fine. He got out of bed, went outside, collected several shiny rocks, and stuffed them into the pockets of his coat. That morning, when they were going out to collect wood for their mother and father, he would drop pebbles down as they went along. He was also somewhat looking back, and his stepmother nearly caught him a few times. By the time they got deep into the woods, the mother and the father had set up a fire for them both and told them to wait there while they collected more wood. Several hours passed, and it was night before they realized that the parents weren't coming back. So, in the moonlight, they followed the shining little pebbles that Hansel had left back to the house. Stepmother was furious, but she didn't really stop them from staying home. And thanks to what they collected, they were going to actually be fine. The woodcutter managed to sell some of it and made enough for a while. But after a few weeks, things started to get worse. So the wife came up with the same plan again, to leave them in the middle of the forest. But the children overheard once again. Hansel went to collect more pebbles, but this time the wife had locked the door. He was not able to get more. So instead, that morning, they went out to use the bit of bread that his mother had given him to eat. Instead, he dropped basic crumbs along with Gretel's. When they got deep into the woods, they were left alone again with the campfire. They tried to follow the trail back, but the birds had eaten all the crumbs. So instead, they got lost. They went deeper into the woods until they smoked on the scent, like hundreds of cakes baking. When they went towards the scent, they discovered a house made of gingerbread. They ate it, of course, not realizing someone was inside it. An old lady called out. I can't remember what the heck she said from the story, but basically asked, "Who the heck's eating my house?" The kids, trying to be clever, pretended they were wind. It didn't work. She came out, invited them in, fed them, and then put them to bed. And then I think you could already guess, this woman wasn't a nice woman. Wasn't a nice old lady. It was a witch. An evil witch who planned to eat Hansel and Gretel. But she was first going to get Hansel fattened up. And basically have Gretel do all the grunt work and all that stuff to get him fat. She locked Hansel up into a cage and made Gretel do all the housework and all that. But Hansel, being a clever boy, didn't eat any of the food and used a chicken bone to fool the old witch, because she could see that he wasn't getting any fatter. She would grab the bone and realize she would grab the bone, thinking it was his finger, and realize he wasn't getting any fatter. One day she got fed up with this and decided she'd eat him anyway. So she told Gretel to get the stove pot and to check it by basically getting halfway in it. Gretel wasn't an idiot. She knew that the witch planned on pushing her into the oven and cooking her along with Hansel. So she faked like she didn't know how to check it, and the old witch got so angry she pushed Gretel out of the way and shoved herself halfway in. Gretel pushed her all the way in, shut the door, and the old lady baked to a disgusting crisp. She got Hansel out of his cage, and they ran all the way back home to their father with things they had stolen from the witch's house. And they discovered their stepmother had died. No big loss there. So, the woodcutter and his children lived happily ever after. The end.